It will be fascinating the move to the Big Ten, but for right now, yes, I don't think there's any question that what Matt has laid out, even though there have been certainly support in the chat for Matt's perspective, there's been a few people that have said, it's not that bad. But it's as bad as the Pac-12 can possibly make it.
That's the thing, right? That if you're looking at a schedule, how does it line up? And it's not the teams. Like, we all knew USC was going to have to play Oregon, was going to have to play Washington, was going to have to play Utah. So, like, the teams are not at issue here. We knew the teams, all right? It's the alignment, and do you get an off week, or do you get a softer opponent the week before or the week after big games on your schedule? There's nothing for USC. I mean, you could say technically, okay, Cal is in between Utah and Washington, but that's only a brief interruption of a 4-game and 5-week gauntlet against Notre Dame, Utah, Oregon, Washington. Like, all right, technically it could have been tougher, but so you could have been Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, and Oregon in 4 straight weeks. Technically, but realistically, a 4 and 5 where you're playing 4 elite opponents in 5 weeks with no rest breaks, that realistically, not technically, but realistically, that is as tough as a schedule can be. So that's really the thing. It's all about, the alignment of certain elements. And again, I go back to Oregon's schedule. Look at Oregon's schedule, folks. Get an off week before playing Washington. Get at Washington State before playing Utah, and Utah's playing USC the week before that game. So, like, Oregon is definitely better situated than Utah is for that October 28th game in Salt Lake City. Okay, thank you, Mark. So, yeah, let's just go here with the Oregon schedule. So it's also, backloaded the way USC's schedule is backloaded. That is a point of commonality, but you get the buffer before the big game. So, yeah, the off week, then Washington. You get Washington State at home before you go to Utah. You have Cal before you play USC. So, again, it's soft week, tough week, soft week, tough week. It's layered, it's balanced so that Oregon can take a little bit of a breather, doesn't have to be at its very best all the time. USC, 4 elite teams in 5 weeks. It's a totally different schedule alignment. And again, like, I don't blame George Kliavkoff for doing this. Like, he needs to make Phil Knight happy. Like, everyone here would agree, George Kliavkoff needs to make Phil Knight happy. Like that should go without saying. And he did. All right. So just as he tried to keep USC happy last year, wasn't good enough, but like, Kliavkoff made the effort. He also did the conference championship game formatting reform, to make sure that the odds of USC making the Pac-12 title game were better than they were if it was the old divisional format. And of course, we had USC and Utah, 2 teams from the old Pac-12 South, playing in that conference championship game. So, like, just the political and economic incentives, they were motivators here. I just, want to stress, let's just not pretend those incentives didn't exist. That really is the main thing when you compare USC's and Oregon's schedules.